Hi everybody, my name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Jan.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. Thank you very much for reading with us. We are into the book of Joshua right now. And we are, now we're in the book of Joshua. Yeah, we're in Judges. He like gave me that look like, "What, old man, what are you doing?" And I'm like, well, what am I doing? So here we are. And so we are into the book of Judges, and we are into this. Somebody give me a quick recap of where we are at. Does anyone remember the three heroes' names from yesterday?
Othniel, I remember Othniel, Ehud, and I don't remember the other guy was.
Yeah, I think it's Ehud. It was the champ of the day. Now, does anyone have any jokes or anything funny at all? Okay, so I do have a, it's not even a joke, but it's a, and everyone's like, oh no. Now, I do have a little bit of farm life story here, and I will tell you a little bit about this, just for this story for today. As of the last, I don't know, couple of weeks, we have been going very hardcore out in the back of our little tiny land here. It's not really tiny land, but in the jungle, it's a tiny little spot that we're clearing. And we're pulling out, I don't know how many hundreds of pounds of grass that we're pulling out in the back and burning it. And for those in North America, I know you guys are hot or cold right now. You're really, really cold. Everywhere in North America seems pretty cold. Probably Arizona, probably the least cold. But we are, for those who do not know, when you go down south, and even Mexico, I guess, seems really, really cold right now. But as further you go down south, it never really gets cold. And so it is always hot here. And the other day, Miss Nicole said it was like something like 95% humidity. And it's anywhere between 85 to 95 degrees at any point during the day, out in this hot baking sun. And so we're out there clearing stuff up. We're doing a bunch of, probably what farmers would do to some extent, only with jungles. And as I'm sitting there burning the stuff in this burn barrel, we have a 55-gallon metal barrel that we converted into a burn barrel. And this time of year, even though it gets really super hot, it gets really super windy. And so we've had to be very, very careful about burning this mass amounts of grass because the wind comes up, and it's low-end hurricane weather. Because we were right in the middle of several oceans, like two oceans at least, that I know of, one on one side, one on the other, and it's the wind will blow in just enormously hard one direction, and then it will go a completely different direction. Like it'll blow 5 hours all one way, and then all of a sudden it'll just switch, and it's like you don't know why. But the thing is, as I was sitting there watching this fire burn, and I don't know if any of you guys have like watched fire burn with a fascination like I do, but fire is one of those amazing things that is it's the cleanser of all things, and it is something that I have a couple of sticks that were in the fire, and they were long sticks. They're about 2-foot sticks, I would imagine, and at the end of the sticks, water was coming out of the end of the sticks because one end was in the fire and it was cooking the insides of that. And I was thinking about the life of a stick, and I was sitting there watching these fire burn and these things being consumed. And then I got to thinking about the times in scriptures where we've heard about the descriptions of Gehenna, of hell, essentially. And it's, all of the descriptions we have is something like it's unquenchable fire. It's like where the worms never die. They will sit there and eat you. It's just, it sounds like a very, very unpleasant place to be. And here we are on a day where I guess, if I had to take a guess, I would say probably at least 90%. Well, probably not 90% of the world because, people in China aren't celebrating Christmas for sure. Although they might be. I don't know what they do over there. But I do know most of the world, probably 90% of the world, got on their knees this morning to Nimrod's phallus. And it is one of these things that we're looking at the world disappearing, and we look at the actions of the world. And I look at my barrel of fire that is burning, and I see things in there that are just being consumed. But they're not being consumed. Like the fire just dances all around these things inside of it. And it just reminds me of how much I do not want to be in a place like that. How it's hot enough down here in South America that I don't want it to be any hotter. I don't want to end my career in life and end up in Gehenna. And we have enormous amounts of people. It's like every single one around us. If you're not keeping Torah, if you're not in the way of the Torah, more than likely we're going to lose every single one of these people in these fires. In this fire that does not kill you, does not consume you, but only is a torturous way of life. And that's just it's a really disturbing thought that most of the world is far gone. And, you know, that is something that we as the Yahoo and the Torah channel, we're always trying to seek people's souls, trying to get them to value their souls at the same value that we value everyone's souls. And it gets to be hard when you see the fires burning and you just realize that the rest of the world is everybody's going to be burning. Even my mom. My mom is the greatest day of her year is Christmas Day. And here we are, right? Everybody. But that's the same, right? Everybody's, oh, it's just about family. It's all about this. Unfortunately, if you are in Torah, the day is about Satanism. It's about worshiping things that our Creator doesn't want us to worship, about keeping appointed times that our Creator has not told us to keep. And it's all pagan. It's all pagan based. And as we are doing what the world is doing, we are going to get what the world gets. And for the most part, the world is going to end up in a very hot space, a very, very hot space. And I know a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people don't believe in heaven or hell or the kingdom to come or anything of the sort. And you know, that's all of our prerogatives, right? That's all of our free will. We've been given such a choice of free will in all of this that we can do what we want to do. But I guess that's the end of my little fire story. I sit there and observe that, and I worry about the world. I worry about the people that are going to be left in there. And I don't want us, I don't want our family, I don't want any of us to be in Gehenna. I don't want us to be in a world. And I guess the worst thing about hell, not only the uncomfortable sound of it, but you're separated from our Creator. Once we are in Gehenna, once we are there, there's no way back. We can look at the story of Lazarus, and we can look at this. He was talking, he was unable to get to the other side. He was unable to see anything. Once you are there, you're there. And this is why we are always trying to get people to change their minds, get people to seek our Creator where He's able to be found. And He's able to be found in the Torah, the first 5 books of Scriptures. He's also able to be found in the Gospels. But it takes 9 books to put this story together to understand what we're dealing with. And so I just want to throw that out there, as many of you guys are probably, unfortunately, celebrating, pagan Saturnalia. Guys, this is, I'm going to shout this out real quick. $64 is still available. We don't know how many times, we don't know how many times we're going to be doing this 1,000 book order. We do know that we're going to be getting it the very first time. This may be a limited edition. You may never ever have another chance to do it, but we do know that the 1,000 are on their way, coming around. It'll be in March or February or March of the next year when they will be available. Mr. Cole, do you have something?
I did.
What you got?
I fixed the shipping so people...
Shipping is fixed. Worldwide shipping is now fixed.
It is expensive, but I can't help it.
Right, and so Mr. Cole does say the shipping is expensive. It's unfortunate. Shipping is what it costs, but worldwide is available, and they will be shipping out of the U.S., and so everybody kind of gets taxed, unfortunately, based upon those rates to get them to wherever they are worldwide. But it is available, and so guys, we're hoping that every single scripture that is sold, we can send a free scriptures into our brothers and sisters in chains. I heard from a brother just the other day who was in chains as well, a different brother who contacted us on YouTube, and he was excited about this because he did some time and he understands that the prisoners are really neglected. For the most part, there's a bunch of Jews that have jumped in, and they sit there and they scam the prisoners. And it is the Sabbath Keepers Fellowship, and they're as much as they do for the prisoners, they're very Jewish oriented, and so the prisoners come. What the questions I get, they're very, very confused because these people all celebrate Hanukkah, and people all celebrate all these Jewish things, and the prisoners just have no guidance. They have nobody to help and teach them, and so we're trying to get scriptures into them and trying to help them teach themselves and teach everybody the same thing. The same thing we tell all the prisoners is that the answers to the kingdom are found in scriptures, and you don't want to count on people in boxes or in churches or pupil, wherever you're at. You don't want to be a pupil to their teaching. You want to be your own teacher, and you can be your own teacher by simply reading scriptures. It's all there. This is where everybody gets all of their info. And for anybody that wants to get this, the 5th version, Revision 5, is completely free. Everything is completely free. The only thing that we have that we don't make any money on is the book. The book, and it all goes in, and it all goes right back out to the prisoners. So everything we've always done is absolutely completely free. And so you can get all your eSword modules right here. You can get them for PC, you can get them for Mac. All the instructions are there. If you guys have any kind of issues at all, let us know. We're happy to help you out and support. And these PDFs, guys, send these PDFs to people. As they say, it is the reason for the season, as they say, but we know that's all satanic and demonic. But you could definitely send some people a gift with a PDF as an attachment in your email and give somebody a good translation of scriptures. It's small enough that you guys can do this. All right, so here we are. That was a long intro. Sorry, everybody. Are you guys ready to roll?
Yep.
Everyone good?
Yep.
Did you guys fall asleep on me?
Nope.
Okay, here we go. 4, children of Yisrael, and again, for those who, the recap, chapter 3 is they ran amok against our Creator, and
they sinned, went into captivity. They did it twice. Sinned, came out, sinned again for another 18 years, got stuck, and then they got freed again. So the guy who they barely got freed is named Ehud.
And when Ehud was dead, the children of Yisrael again did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah.
Right again. It's just right after the guy died. It's like after Moses died, they had Joshua, and then Joshua died, and then they sinned. Then they had another guy, they sinned, another guy, and they sinned. It's just an endless vicious cycle.
But here's the thing, for all of you guys out there, these are not stories of old that should be discounted. These are stories of old that apply to us today. You guys should be the children of Yisrael. The children of Yisrael are people who are in covenant with our Creator. It means you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments found in Genesis through Deuteronomy, and that you have the faith of Messiah Yahushua. That is who Yisrael is. We are called to be Yisrael. We're not called to be Christians or Baptists or any of that other mumbo jumbo. We are called to be children of the Most High, and this is what they keep messing up, which is what we are here in this generation. We need to stop messing this up. There's a time when we all need to come under the covenant of our Creator because it's the right thing to do, because it's the thing that will save our lives, it will save our souls. But free will is one of these things that we can do whatever we want. 2, therefore, Yahuwah sold them into the hand of Yabin, the sovereign of Canaan, who reigned in Katzor, and the commander of his army was Sisera, who was dwelling in Kerosheth ha-Goyim. And the children of Yisrael cried out to Yahuwah because he had 900 chariots of iron, and for 20 years he harshly oppressed the children of Yisrael.
So they're scared of the chariots?
Chariots of iron, yeah, they don't like the chariots of iron. And Deborah and Nebuah, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Yisrael at that time. Now, do we hear of, this is like the first woman that we've heard of that are, well, we have 2 women so far that have done prophecies, Nebium stuff, right?
Yeah.
Who's the first one?
Miriam,
Aaron's sister, right?
I think Sarah was also a prophet.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she? Yeah, she was a singing prophetess things as well. So we have a woman here, and she was judging Israel at that time. We don't have any more information on that. We don't know anything about her or what this is all about. But we do know that she was judging Israel. 5. And she was dwelling under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Beth El in the mountains of Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for right ruling. And she sent and called for Barak, son of Abinoam, from Kadesh in Naphtali, and said to him, Has not Yahuwah Elohim of Yisrael commanded, Go, and you shall draw towards Mount Tabor, and shall take with you 10,000 men of the sons of Naphtali, and of the sons of Zebulun. And I shall draw unto you Sisera, the commander of Yabin's army, with his chariots, and his company at the Wadi Kishon, and shall give him into your hand. And Barak said to her, If you go with me, then I shall go. But if you do not go with me, I do not go. Now, why is this guy want this prophetess woman, the judge, to go with him.
Maybe he feels like he's on covenant, so he needs someone like on Yah's side to be with him so that he wins and it gets slaughtered.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting things, though. And she said, I shall certainly go with you. Only there shall be no esteem for you in the journey you are taking. For Yahuwah is going to sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. So Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh. And he went up, 10,000 men under his command. And Deborah went up with him. And Keber, the Canaanite of the children of Kobab, the father-in-law of Moshe, had separated himself from the Canaanites and pitched his tent near the terebinth tree at Zaananium, which is beside Kadesh. And they reported to Sisera that Barak, son of Abinoam, came up to Mount Tabor. So Sisera called all his chariots, 900 chariots of iron, and all the people who were with him, from Kerosheth Hagoyim to the Wadi Kishron. And Deborah said to Barak, Rise up, for this day in which Yahuwah has given Sisera into your hand. Has not Yahuwah gone out before you? And Barak went down from Mount Tabor with 10,000 men after him. And Yahuwah destroyed Sisera and all his chariots and all his army with the edge of the sword before Barak. And Sisera leapt from his chariot and fled away on foot. But Barak pursued the chariots and the army as far as Kerosheth Hagoyim, and all the army of Sisera fell by the edge of the sword. Not one was left. Sisera, meanwhile, had fled on foot to the tent of Yael, the wife of Kever, the Canaanite. For there was peace between Jabin, sovereign of Katzor, and the house of Kever, the Canaanite. And Yael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, Turn aside, my master. Turn aside to me. Do not fear. So he turned aside with her into the tent, and she covered him with a blanket. And he said to her, Please give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. So she opened a flask of milk and gave him a drink and covered him. And he said to her, Stand at the door of the tent, and it shall be if anyone comes and asks you and says, Is there a man here? You shall say no. But Yael, Keber's wife, took a tent peg and drove a hammer with her hand, and went soft and took a hammer in her hand, and went softly to him and drove the peg into the side of his head, and it went down into the ground, for he was fast asleep and exhausted, and he died. All right, what do you guys think that looked like?
That's bloody mess. Yeah, bloody mess.
Bloody mess. Tent pegs. They're kind of a dull point, at least for the tent pegs that we have.
Maybe
I assume they just had like a wood pointy thing.
I was thinking metal. I was thinking it's not metal.
You think they would have metal tent pegs? Where would they do metal? How would they produce metal?
They're able to make golden cap pretty easily.
That is true. That is true. So that maybe they figured that out. Yeah, I don't know. If it was...
It was wood. I mean, it would be pretty sharp, but I mean, I didn't have hammer.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
That's going to definitely hurt. Now, do you think there's anything in the milk? Did she knock him out cold?
I don't think so. I think he
Like
would. I think
special
he was
milk?
just scared for his life and just passed out.
Passed out cold and in the tent of just some woman?
Yep.
Okay, all right, let's continue on. 22. And see, as Barak pursued Sisera, Yael came out to meet him and said to him, Come, let me show you the man whom you are seeking. And when he went into her tent, there lay Sisera dead with a peg in the side of his head. You think they cleaned that tent up? Do you think she stayed in that tent after this?
probably not. They probably like we had to
Think
take
they gave her a new tent?
Like blood everywhere.
Well, she was now a hero. Do you think they gave her like a really new, like a super tent? Because
Should
of
have.
this?
This is a mess.
How do they make tents out there, right? It was animal skin?
Yeah, animal skins. Yep, and absolutely animal skin. But for sure, whatever little carpet she has in there is over. That's going to be game over.
Yeah,
there's going to be a tremendous amount of blood on that.
Splatter as well. So maybe the
I don't know
walls.
about blood splatter.
I don't know. You get
It's not a shotgun blast. It's not a. She's not taking a hammer and just throwing it down. Right? She's putting a peg right next to his head. Wham! Well, I mean, there'd be no other way to do that except to put that thing right there. So I don't think there's going to be a tremendous amount of blood splatter. The dude is definitely going to
bleed out though.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. It says he didn't wake up, right? For he was fast asleep and exhausted, and he died. You would think that there would be a little movement, right? Like this dude. I mean, he's definitely going to kill him, but I mean, he's not. I don't think he's going to lay there with.
Maybe just too fast. Maybe with like one hit and the ball all the way through.
I don't know, but she said, and I don't think. Here's the gig: is I don't think a woman is going to be able to take one strike and smash a tent peg through that dude's head to the ground, right? Skulls are extremely tough. Maybe one side of it, but I mean, she's going to sit there. She's going to have to sit there and hammer that a few times, right? It's going to be pounding the hammer to get that nail to the ground. So she made sure he was gone, is the point, I suppose. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. 23?
22. 23.
Yep. Okay. 23. And on that day, Elohim humbled Jabin, sovereign of Canaan, in the presence of the children of Yisrael. And the hand of the children of Yisrael grew stronger and stronger against Jabin, sovereign of Canaan, until they had cut off Jabin, sovereign of Canaan. So, there we go. We had a woman that went and took care of business. And we have a couple of like female heroes in scriptures, right? Who else is a female hero that you guys know of?
Yehuda.
Yehuda, yeah. In the Apocrypha, Judith saved the day. It was all game over. It was complete game over.
Ruth didn't fight, but she's still good.
Without Ruth, we would not have Messiah. All of that whole gig right there. I mean, she's definitely a hero in her actions and her humbleness and the way that she conducted herself. And you don't have to drive like a tit peg through somebody's head to be a hero. There's a lot of things and a lot of different ways that women have done in scriptures that have changed the course of history. Eve, for one, is one that changed the course of history on everything. But she wasn't probably not a hero. But who could fault her if these are babes that were born in human as adults, and they got tricked, and we probably get tricked every single day. I don't know so much as we do any better than what they did. So with that, guys, we hope that you guys have a wonderful day. We thank you guys very, very much for being a part of our little family here, and take care.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.